مولاي صل وسلم دائما دائما دائما.
And I'm moving to how we acquired the land, when my wife used to say, maybe you should look at this land. Rather than trying to put an offer to an agent or a broker, I asked an agent to call the owner and say that you have a buyer who's willing to buy in cash, but wants to meet face to face. Came to my office, and the three of us, I think it was myself, Javed Kaif, and Muhammad Rad. And this is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really helped us, because what happened was we were looking to buy the land, but then we cannot take a loan. So as we started discussing, we agreed on a price of $350,000 as the market value, not the selling price. And then now we went to the stage where I broke to them the news that we really cannot give you the cash now. We'd like to give it to you over a period of time, knowing very well that they had refused before. But this time, the way I put it, or we put it, was, it will be in your interest not to take the money up front. If you take over a period of a few years, of 3 years, what I proposed, then your capital gains is going to reduce. And they took a break, and they said, we want to discuss amongst ourselves. So they went out, they discussed, came back, and this is the miracle. And they said, we want you to pay in 4 years, not 3 years.
What we envisioned was an Islamic center, not a mosque only, not a place where you go and pray and leave, but an institution that becomes the nerve center for the community, a place that was inclusive to people of ethnic backgrounds, both men and women, children and the elderly, and the whole spectrum across the ages. We wanted to institutionalize these ideas of inclusiveness. We also wanted to include people of different levels of practice, because an Islamic center is not a place where the most devout are supposed to come. You don't need to build a center for the most devout, because those people are already practicing. You want to draw people of different levels of practice who can find inspiration, spiritual inspiration, and a sense of community in here. We try to reflect that vision both architecturally in terms of the design, but also in our bylaws. So we insisted to have women on the board and designated a specific position that can only be occupied by a woman, in addition to all the other board positions a woman can run for that.
The big issue for us was really the dome. What was it going to be made of? How large was the dome going to be? We had a small dome, which was a lot easier, but not as impressive from the outside. We also had, we wanted to be impressive inside also, and we had envisioned a chandelier, so we wanted it to be able to encompass that and not encroach on the upstairs where the women were going to be praying. The same manufacturer that did a lot of the lighting, different design, but did a lot of the lighting in the mosque in Medina. And it says, inscribed on it, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, very nicely in calligraphic writing. The lights also have Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. محمد سيد الكونين والثقلين.
Over the years, and even now, pure strangers will come into this building, and out of this community, there are so many friendships that are long-lasting. We've become family members now. My children used to babysit some friends' children, and those friends were strangers to us when we first met. And yet today, my children consider those young people, who are also grown and married now, by the way, they consider them younger siblings. That's how this community and just coming together to build this mosque brought families together. Obviously, like any community, there is room for growth. We can do so much better. But where we've come in 20 years is definitely something I'm grateful for. I'm so grateful that we were able to bring into fruition what we hoped for. And when I walk in here during Eid prayer, during this morning when I walked in, it gives me goosebumps actually sometimes. I'm really grateful that my work and the work of all of those people who got together 20 years ago, it wasn't wasted. It's not just a building. It's a place where community and families form.
Our first board reflected this vision.